Everybody. In this lecture, what we're trying to illustrate is one big concept. In fact, it's the core concept of the entire course. And that concept is eloquence. Now, one of the things we're trying to illustrate is that there are common denominators in effective, eloquent public speech that are also the same in effective, eloquent, passionate writing, right? Vivid language works in both a written context as well as an oral context. But it doesn't always work the same. It's not always the same language, and it's not always landing the same with the same audience in the same particular environment. So what we're interested in is both the commonalities amongst people, performers, artists that are eloquent, but also the ways in which they achieve that eloquence can be very different. The point I'm trying to make here is that eloquence at a chemistry conference is very different from eloquence at a comedy show. And even if you take two comedians, their eloquence can be incredibly different. The difference between an Amy Schumer and a John Mulaney is actually quite massive. So the point we're trying to make is that eloquence does not have to be stately and senatorial and sober. Eloquence does not have to be neutral or objective. It can be quite pointed. Indeed, it can also be quite profane. And so one of the things I'm trying to do is to make sense of this big concept through 6 different categories. What I am trying to develop in this lecture is that the concept of eloquence can be illustrated at least in 6 different ways. And so I'm going to illustrate to you styles of eloquence, where successful speakers, writers, in some cases musical artists, look the same if you look at them through this particular prism. So we're going to develop an idea called the plain style. We're going to develop an idea called the peacock style. We're going to develop an idea called the poignant style, the populist style, and so forth, in a way to illustrate that in many cases, performers, writers, and artists are achieving eloquence. They're doing so differently, but that there are also 6 different patterns in the way that they're achieving their eloquence.